Hello, it's Snipes, and we're back with Order 66, played by Andrew versus Wolfpack, played by Tim. We are doing Ancient Knowledge, so I'm going to go change that real quick. And the series is 0-2 for in favor of Wolfpack so far. On the left, we have Rebels versus Resistance, and the Rebels are bringing Luke Skywalker with plasma torpedoes, Dash Rendar, somebody you haven't seen in a very good long while, with the worst Outrider title, but still very fun overall. He has Trickshot, Perceptive Copilot, Overtuned, Contraband, and Ablative Plating. We have Jan Oris with the Moldy Crow, and AP5 with Jin Urso. So what he'll be able to do is turn any of those focus tokens into evades, which works well with Dash with per cop. So you can use the per cop to get some evades if he really needs to. And if he's really in a bad pinch, he can always overtuned and use per cop and get 2 evades. On the other side, we have Resistance with Poe Dameron, with Trickshot, Ray, Engine Upgrade, and the title. Jessica Pava with Pattern Analyzer, R2D2. And Jessica Pava can re-roll, I believe, defense and attack dice by the droid charge right here with R2D2. And it says while you defend or perform an attack, you may spend 1 charge or 1 non-reoccurring charge up to reroll up to 1 of your dice for each friendly ship at range 0 to 1. So it gets lots of rerolls. Then we have Nimi, whose ability is to turn blanks into eyeballs on the attack if the enemy ship is a higher initiative than her. And then finally, Lieutenant Bastion, after a ship at range 1 to 2 is dealt a damage card, you may acquire a lock on that ship. I believe they are all set up and we're just waiting for them to set their dials. I'm still interested to see how Dash plays because I don't remember the last time I've ever seen him in a competitive scene. I have played against a list very similar against this with Uller. He flew it very well. It was actually a really strong list, so it should be fun. I'm not sure exactly what will happen, but it should be very fun. Really, Buddy plays Dash? You gotta let me know how that went because I haven't seen him play anything other than 3 E-Wings and Wedge and 4 E-Wings. Dash with Saw is an interesting build. It'd be nice to get the crits, I suppose. I just worry about the overall damaging yourself when you're a 7-point ship? Or is he 8? I know one of them is 8, I'm pretty sure, or 9. Something ridiculously expensive. I think they're talking over upgrades currently. What they can and can't do in system phases, maybe. I wouldn't surprise me if Tim has never seen Dash on the field either. I don't know that he's played I don't know that he's played an insane amount of X-Wing. I could be wrong. I mean, yeah, 5 crits into Joy at range 3 gotta suck still. Uh, how many dice can he actually get? Because he has trick shot, and then at range 3 he would roll 1 more. Yeah, while I perform a primary attack at range 3, roll 1 additional dice. Okay, so the goal is to sit at range 3 and then try and shoot through rocks. Tim is first player in this first round. It is ancient knowledge, and the 3 X-Wings are by together on the bottom side of the field. Poe by himself, probably going to turn away. I don't think he wants to joust Luke and Jan. Yeah, somebody did mention Dash Buddy. I didn't know you flew him. I've never seen you fly anything other than Wedge and E-Wings. I guess that's not entirely true. I've seen you fly a B-Wing, I think, once. Four straights by all the X-Wings. Gonna have an easy time claiming this objective next turn. If I had to guess, we'll see Dash just go straight. Yep. Nicely set up to where they don't bump. Four straight by Luke. And here's an interesting thing that I'm noticing. This is ship fixed, it is. If you put your ships on the edge where their nubs are hitting the little template, it will be raised ever so slightly. I didn't even know that Dash got buffed. I'm gonna be completely honest, buddy, because I haven't seen anybody fly him, and the 1 or 2 times I've tried flying him, it didn't end very well. So I haven't touched him since. And I'll agree, I think E-Wings are just infinitely better. Better and cheaper. Well, I'm not sure how you roll 5 greens unless you're obstructed. I don't think Dash gets extra green dice, right? Yeah, no. That is true, Sevall. Wolfaro is just better for half the cost and has arguably very similar health and a bigger arc in some ways because he can just stop and he can just sit there and force everybody to have to fight him anyways, or just one straight to victory. He also has a reinforce, which Dash doesn't. But yeah, there's so many ships that just have better utility, better consistency than Dash. Dash is still in the jail that he was really good once, so he can never be really good again. Kind of the same place with Boba at this point. Boba was scary once because Kanan crew existed and, well, Maul and Kanan existed. So, therefore, Boba never have fun again. Can you put not trajectory simulator, can you put, what is it called? The thing that lets you sit on rocks on E-Wings? It's like, I can't remember what it's called. But it's the thing where if you fly on the rock, you spend a charge and you don't take damage. Slow move by AP5. He's going to use Perceptive Copilot with Jin to get the evade. This is an NCX game. This is Andrew versus Tim, Order 66 versus Wolfpack, I believe. I can put that in real quick. Collision detector, yeah, that's what it's called. Well, I think the thing that makes collision detector very, very unpredictable is you can just then not use collision detector. You can act like you're about to fly towards a rock and then turn away from the rock. It's one of my favorite things about Stromboni is because his card is hard to read. You just end up taking all of the... You can fly on a rock and most people don't really expect it because it's not like you have the upgrade card that people can see. If they want to know that you can fly on a rock, they have to read the full card. I'm surprised that Luke did a 3 hard there. But I guess Poe hasn't moved yet. One straight by dash, checking for a lock, just out of range of Nimi. So we'll lock onto Jessica Pavo. She will at least have rerolls. But that will be 4 into 3 dice. Poe with a 1 straight. You know he's going to be going through that rock this next turn. Could be taking some substantial damage this round as well. Depends on if he's an Arc of Luke, which he definitely is. Well, you can do, if you ever want to remember something like that, buddy, what you can do is what I do whenever I bring Zam, and just draw a big reminder right in next to all your dials saying, remember Zam. But for you, it could just be remember bombs, just on every single dial. So every time you look at one to set it, you're like, okay, gotta remember the bombs. Spends the lock, can use Ray to get 4 hits into Luke, does. Luke will probably spend both force. I don't imagine you want to take the damage, really. So 1 shield on Luke. Next shot would be Luke into Poe. We'll only get 2 dice. I'm assuming we're going to see a plasma here. While there's still shields up. Is spending a plasma. That's a great start. Gets 3 crits on a plasma torp. Into 2 blinks. Oh no. All of the shields are gone, and a crit will sneak through. It is damaged engine. Oh, that's a terrible crit. That is not what you wanted to see first, second round going into Poe. At least it's only 1 more crit. You do evade that one at least. Out of all the shots he's shot so far, they have been 4 crits. Going to give Dash an extra dice, so this will be a 5 dice versus 3. Has a target lock and a focus. Oh my god. Gets 2 more crits, 3 hits. She'll get at least 1 reroll because of her ability. Does get the evade, spends the focus. And that'll be 2 shields into Jessica. One to one on objectives. Let me fix that from last game. 1 to 1 as they enter turn 3. Yeah, adding red dice is really silly good, especially when you naturally roll 2 crits and 2 hits to it and just need to spend your focus to get 5. So out of all of the results, he rolled 3 with Luke. They all turned into crits. Rolled 3 with Jan. He only got 1 crit. And then rolled 5 with Dash, which 2 were crits. Naturally. And if you're Poe, I'm not sure what you do because you can't hard turn without stressing yourself, and you're not in an amazing spot to bank because the 2 bank will put you right about here. It might get you over. Just might. Um, Otherwise, you do a straight maneuver and you try and boost out in a way. But there's a very reasonable chance that Poe can just die this coming turn. This dash can shoot 6 dice as well if he gets the trick shot off, because then you can Jan it up. That's disgusting, Vendor. You Was he really rolling that hot to where he's getting 6 hits and just one-shotting every single X-Wing? Yeah, that doesn't sound like a fun game at all. Going into turn 3, Andrew is first player. AP5 will move. I don't know that he went far enough forward for Dash to get out of the way. He will claim center. Maybe Dash is doing like a hard 3 right. See the turn-ins from the X-Wings. Reaching out for a lock instead of a focus. Because if you're Bastion, you don't expect to get shot. But I don't know why, isn't Bastion's ability all about getting locks? Why would you lock with them? Yeah, I think if anything you should have focused. We do see the 3 hard in. Might be attempting to block Poe on the rock if he did a straight maneuver. A 3 bank by Luke as well. Just a slow move by Jan. Gonna take another focus and get ready to boost either Luke or Dash again. And he did block Poe, so this could very well be the ending of Poe. He won't get to shoot this turn. Depending on how this round goes, we might see the ending of uh, Jessica and Poe. Really, your only hope, I think, to stay in the game is to have Jessica stay alive and dump damage into Dash. And I'm just not sure how likely that's going to be. Does take the stress focus on Poe. Here's a tip to anybody who didn't already know it. If you bump a ship and you land on a rock, you can still perform the stress focus action if you aren't already stressed, because it's not part of your perform action step. Yeah, I think we might see Dash just shoot 4 dice, and he might save the 5 dice banger for Luke. Yep, shooting 4 dice. I don't think we're going to see Jan. We do not. Naturally rolls 4 hits. That's amazing. Jessica will at least get 3 evades, or 3 greens. Can get the friendly reroll. Should definitely friendly reroll. One turn down to an eyeball. I'm not sure what that's from. Is that while you obstructed? Okay, it's discount juke. The Outrider title makes it so you can effectively do what juke does. Here we see Luke range 1. Jan is going to make Luke roll 5 dice. So effectively an APT going into Han or Poe Dameron. No crits yet. Spends the lock on the 2 eyeballs, or 2 blanks and an eyeball. It's perfect results again. And that'll be 4 more hits going into Poe. Down to 3 already. Next is Jan's shot. She does have the ancient knowledge and can spend it here if she really feels the need to, because AP5 also has his. Might see him spend it. I don't hate the spend. Chooses not to. Poe will have to spend his focus to not take a crit. He does. Oh, used force ray to make it 3 damage. You are correct. Shooting into Dash. Dash still has his focus and is evaded still. Nothing from Jessica. Uses 1 friendly reroll from the R2. Range 1, I'm assuming into Dash. Should roll 4 if this is range 1. There's the 4th dice. This is Nimi, so she can turn that into an eyeball. We'll spend the focus for 4 hits. will only take 3. Got the natural evade. Yeah, I started picking it up recently. Haven't for a while. I did I did for a very brief time stream for like a week about a year ago. Maybe a little more than a year. But just was a little jinky back then. So just now getting back into it. But I think it's fun. And as long as we get to see more NCX games, I think it's a win. Here comes AP5, the Destroyer. Gonna roll 2 crits just cuz. Well, there is one. I would spend your knowledge. Yep, he does. Poe has no more mods. Gets the evade at least, so 1 more crit going through. And it is a disabled power regulator. Well, the nice thing at least about that is I don't think Poe's going to be alive long enough to really suffer the effects of that disabled power. Both sides will get 1 point for objective. As we move on to round 4. Looking at this from the top, I don't think Luke's too hard will fit in. I might honestly do a 4 straight with Luke and a boost. I'm not sure. It's a little difficult because his too hard doesn't fit. Depending on where you move with AP5, maybe you could fit a wedge roll right. It's a little scuffed in how everybody's too close together. Yeah, I don't know where Poe goes. I think you have to try a straight maneuver, like another 4 straight, 3 straight, whatever you can to get out of there. You could 3 bank right as well. I think that'll get you out. You just have to make sure that your X-wings aren't blocking you from boosting off the rock. Because if you're AP5, you're most likely going to go straight of some kind. They can go back. I know they can go back. I don't know if they can slide left and right. So I'll check that. No, they have the 1 straight back and they have a 3K, but they don't have the banked backwards maneuvers. Well, if Poe does the 3 bank this way, it will fit over, I believe. Especially since Dash is moving first. Depending on what Dash does, he might get stuck as well. I think this too hard in by the X-Wing would fit. I know the Lieutenant Bastion could do a 2 bank in, and that'd be nice. On to round 4. We do not see any system phase. We do see a friendly bump by AP5. Not punished. One bank by Nimi and 2 Dash will take the stressful focus. Too hard in by Lieutenant Bastion. And you kind of hope that dash fits over because otherwise you're not shooting anything. Takes the boost action. It does fit. He does, however, hit the cloud. So we'll lose his lock, take a strain, not be able to shoot. Luke Skywalker tried to too hard right, and it got bumped by Poe. I think what he wanted to do was roll him this way, but the AP5 blocked him, or bumped into him so he couldn't roll him. And then because AP5 was still stuck here, it stopped him from hitting the rock behind Poe. So AP5 still unintentionally saved Luke from ramming into a rock. Jan does self bump and will take a damage. Poe flies onto the rock, will most likely boost as his action. And you can boost right. I believe that should fit. It throws you a little bit outwards. So your base should be like right here. Well, I don't know that it was intentional to use AP5 to keep Luke there. I think his goal was to roll Luke because he dialed in the too hard. So I think he was trying to roll him this way, and then he would have been able to too hard in right here. Because keeping Luke here doesn't benefit you at all. I know, but I just don't think keeping Luke in this spot helps you, especially if you're going to stress him. AP5 can technically still coordinate you, but I don't know that it is an amazing position to still be in. I think you shoot at Jan here. As much as you kind of want to shoot at Luke, you shoot at the ship that isn't focused. Or, I mean, isn't evaded. Yeah, I will agree with you, Seval. I still don't like I don't see why you get punished for bumping your friends, but not also for bumping the enemy. I don't think either should do damage personally. I just think you shouldn't get an action. Like if they don't want to do damage, that's fine for self bumps and enemy bumps, but I think you should at least not get an action either side because it just doesn't make sense. And it's not fun. It's like, oh, I bumped myself, but you were at the end of my template, so I'm still gonna focus. Luke will spend his evade to avoid all of it. Yeah, I would have shot at Jan, especially since she's only 2 off getting half pointed. So is Luke, I guess. We're gonna see the shot into Han, or Poe Dameron, I mean. Poe's action was to boost off the rock. He was on the rock right here, and he boosted off. I don't think he can. During the engage, oh, nope, he can. During the engagement phase, you ignore the effects of obstacles that you are overlapping. He brought the good dash. Yep, you are right, he is on a cloud. I don't think he rolled anything, but he is technically allowed to hit, to shoot. Because this is the busted dash, the one that you can shoot while on obstacles. Han will take one more. Or I keep saying Han, but I mean Poe. Poe will take one more. Down to 2. Shooting into Luke. We'll get 2 hits. Spends the Jessica Pava reroll. Doesn't get anything. And Luke will spend both force to take nothing. Yeah, I think shooting into AP5 would have made more sense. Probably could have killed him before he got to shoot, and that would save you a lot of coordinate problems and would have stopped him from being able to shoot into Poe. 2 more at Luke. Luke will just spend his force and take nothing again. We will see 3 hits go into Dash. Dash will natty out and only take a shield. And here comes AP5, has range 2 onto Poe. Gets 2 hits, Poe needs 1 of 8 to live, and he doesn't get it. Poe will take 2, and that'll be the end of him. And now you lost your best piece, and one of your X-Wings is very wounded. You need to start pushing through some damage. Your next turn is your best option. Kill Jan, then you need to kill Dash and AP5. Luke is not the one you should be going after in this list. They both will get 1 point for objective. Yeah, this has felt a little bit like a dice game. I mean, Dash didn't ever spend the lock on Jessica. He's just naturally rolled single modded paint to either roll natties or just need to spend a focus on more than 4 dice. What I think what we're going to see now is we will see Luke get rolled like right here. And he might just too hard in anyways, and worst case he bumps into somebody. Maybe the 1 bank will fit after the roll. So he rolls them, then he 1 banks and can focus and turn it into an evade. AP5 will probably just move straight, and then Jan will just 1 bank as well, giving either Luke or Dash another really good shot. There's the fast maneuver by AP. I think we'll see him roll wedge. Yep, or not wedge, Luke. This is what he wanted to do last turn. It's gonna give him to the middle. Then we'll just one bank and focus. Bastion will 3 hard. Pava will 1 bank. Surprised we didn't see the 1 straight. Interesting to see that Luke was trying to do the 2 bank, but I'm assuming we'll see the stress focus, turn it into an evade. We do. One bank by Jan. I'd be surprised if we don't see her lock Jessica, just to try and put her down before she gets a shot. We do not, though. She'll take the evade, and then Dash will focus evade. I think you shoot with Luke first, because this is the easiest shot. Shooting into Bastion. Only 4 dice. Doesn't seem to want to Janet. Oh, jeez. Might as well spend the force. 4 hits. That'll be shields down on Bastion. Range 3 obstructed. He should feel very thankful that he doesn't have Jan currently pointing at him, or that would be 6 dice. Still will be 5. Gets 4 hits at the end of it. Does get 3 evades. Turns 1 down because it's obstructed from the outlaw title. Outrider title, whatever it's called. Outrider. We'll get to reroll the blank. And then we'll most likely spend the focus to not take anything. Not the best shot from Jan again. She will spend her chooses not to spend her knowledge, but we'll spend a focus for 2. Keeping the knowledge. Gets 2 evades. Yeah, I would agree, Liam. We are going to see AP5 just natty double crits into somebody, and they're going to blow up. They're going to take Fuel Leak into direct. Some goofiness. I think this 4 dice is going into Luke. I think it's a mistake, but I do think it is. Two natural evades again. Is actually going into Jan. So Jan will take a shield. Down to 3. You gotta just keep going into Jan at this point. You've already shot her. Gets hit crit. Turns 1 into an eyeball and gets 2 more. Jan will roll blanks, and that'll be the end of Jan. Oh. Nope, I lied. She used the ancient knowledge and the evade from Jin to stay alive. So still takes 2, will be half points, and the crit is wounded pilot. Lieutenant Bastion gets the lock on Jan and will most likely shoot at her. Surely you shoot at the ship on 1 HP. I'm going to assume this is going into Jan. Ugh. Only will get 2. Jan could live. Jan will not live. And that will be the end of Jan, which is 5 points. Only gets 1 hit. Jessica will not roll anything. Spend a droid charge to re-roll 1. Yep. Does get the evade. And we will see 2 more points go to Tim. And he has to drop his objective now. I'll give them a moment. If they don't, I will remind them. Resistance has a decent chance now. They just have to get their shots onto Dash and push through enough damage to at least get half on him. And I think if they can chase down Dash and get to AP5, they can probably win. But if Dash just starts one-shotting them, then that'll be really bad. But Resistance does have a way back in now, especially after killing Jan. That's almost why I think you should have taken a lock with Jan and used Jan on Luke's shot, just to try and kill something. Because you had 2 focus tokens. I know taking the evade is nice for defense, but if you had just spent the lock and the focus, you probably could have killed Jessica and you probably could have gotten half on Bastion. On to round 6. Andrew is first player. Not that any of this matters anymore. There is no competing initiative. To be fair, there never was. Bank away by AP. It's coordinating Dash a target lock, I would assume. That or maybe a barrel roll. Nope. Double evade. We could see Dash take 5 to 4 strains this coming turn, depending on how many he loses. Nimi will 2-bank and focus. Bastion will bump, most likely stress focus. And we will see Jessica ram herself through the rock. We'll still at least be able to perform the focus action. So we'll take 1 damage and then have to roll for another. It as well is half points. We'll take another damage. Currently he's reminding him that he has to remove the token because he has had majority last round. Nimi changes her action to claim. Makes sense. Luke does a 2-bank away. We'll remove the stress and claim. Dash does a 3-bank, does not hit the rock. And I think even though you're potentially range 1, it's still worth target locking Jessica. She's only on 2 health. Plus, I don't think the barrel roll fits. I don't know that it will put you far enough forward to where you can avoid it. Maybe I'm wrong. Goes for the claim instead. So effectively has 3 calculates, 2 evades, and then the knowledge, which acts as either an evade or a hit. Does have range 1 into Jessica, will refuse to shoot there and instead shoot range 3 obstructed into Bastion. Debating who to shoot still. Chooses to shoot in the Bastion. 5 dice. Pretty decent roll. We'll spend all 3 calculates. And Bastion will need to spend the focus to live. He's going to take 3. Oh. Chooses to spend the knowledge. We'll get to reroll that, and I probably would have just let him. I don't know, that feels bad. I probably would have kept the knowledge there instead of spending it. Instead, we'll only take 1. Still is half points. We'll get her friendly reroll. This is why I think you should have shot her, because you might have gotten her to spend that focus, and that would save you a bunch of damage. Takes hit, hit, crit, and the crit is fuel leak into dash. Down to 3. Bastion missed a trigger, I think. No, he did not. It's when a... No? Oh, it's not at range 2. Okay, it's at range 3. I understand now. And then on this next shot, no matter what, you spend all your evade tokens so you don't get strained. Unless, of course, you just natty to evades, and then you... Oh, chooses to shoot into Finn instead. Or AP5, I mean. Only gets nothing. Chooses not to spend the knowledge. AP5, shooting at Jessica. Will we see the destroyer droid kill her? Gets hit crit. Jessica, you need to roll 1 paint. She'll get 1 paint. We'll spend her last droid charge to reroll. And does get it. It's a big turn for Tim. 1-to-1 on objective again. Dash does take 2 strains, and now we need to see him either 3 bank or 3 hard, and he needs to kill something without dying, because if he dies, then it's pretty much game over. AP5 isn't in an amazing position either. Honestly, if I'm AP5, I really don't hate the 1 backwards. I don't hate it at all. I know you want it too hard and coordinate dash, but I think if you go backwards, you might get these guys to bump into you. You already know Nimi's going straight. Going into the 7th round, if you're resistance, I don't hate going after AP5 with your 2 bottom ships. Or I guess Nimi and Jessica. And then you can go after Dash with Lieutenant Bastion. He could 3 straight and then just focus. The crit on Dash is a fuel leak. I believe I put it in. Yeah, I did. So there's a very decent chance, depending on what you get on your attack, Dash could just die. You only need hit crit to go through, and he'll die. He has 2 strains, so you have approximately 1 to 2 turns to get that damage through. You just have to make sure Bastion doesn't die. You need to make sure he does a crit or gets 3 hits, and Dash would blank out. Which will be really hard because Dash will automatically get an evade, or he might just double evade. Dash got 2 strains because he used Overtuned, took 3 calculates, then he used Perceptive Copilot to turn both of his focus tokens into evades, and then he claimed Ancient Knowledge. And he did all of that with AP5 as well. The AP5 is the one who coordinated him to focuses. Luke is the most basic looking X-Wing. He's the one right here with the Ancient Knowledge. The good old red stripe version. The real X-Wings, not these Resistance knockoffs. And I believe this may be the last turn with how long they're taking on these dials. Depends on how quickly they get through the rounds. Andrew is first player again, not that any of that matters. He banks away with AP, coordinates, what was that? Focus evade to dash. We see the Talon roll by Nimi. I did not expect that. I think that's a mistake because you're turning away from the biggest 2 pieces that can get you victory this game. We do see the 3 straight by Bastion. You should either claim or focus. I think claiming's a smart decision. You'd get objective majority. You already know Dash is going to grab it as well. So what you do is you check range 1 from your ship and you see if you're in range of this one, because you're allowed to check both. It isn't, they're not doing the action properly. You are allowed to check range 0 to 1 of your ship to any objective. You don't have to say, I'm claiming that objective and not be able to claim another. He is in range of it anyways, so we'll still get the knowledge. But you should always check from your ship, not instantly click on it. Might as well focus stress on Jessica. Luke does the Talon roll. I don't understand going all the way forward. I don't know how you avoid that rock next turn. I think that too hard hits it. Maybe he's hoping there isn't a next turn. Definitely barrel roll to get out of range 1. I'm a little surprised we didn't see the 3 bank. Because now you're taking 2 shots, maybe. That's very close to being in. I'm not certain though. Luke shooting into Bastion. Gets hit crit. Bastion rolls almost nothing. You need to spend your ancient knowledge. I mean, I guess you don't need to, but you could blow up potentially otherwise. We'll take a crit. Takes wounded pilot. That's a very empty crit here. Shooting into Bastion as well. 3 dice. Gets hit crit. We'll spend the focus. Bastion needs 2 evades to live and doesn't get it. Big swing for Rebels. I think the only way back in is if you kill, if you have a shot here to kill Dash. You do not. Now AP5 is going to shoot out the butt into Nimi. Gets 2 eyeballs, doesn't have anything to spend. Dash will take a 3rd strain. Yep, fun dice again. Got effectively natties on single modded dice. However, I think it was really important for Luke to actually get 3 hits there. And I don't think it was unrealistic for either one of them to get 3 hits. Your win con is to send... I think you have to close your foils in 1 straight. How healthy is Nimi? She's full health. I don't think the 3 bank gets you over that rock. So I think you would 1 straight and then barrel roll focus to the right. Then Jessica has to bank this way and claim the objective. That, or you have to 3 hard with Jessica and just hope to kill him. Have to hope to kill Dash. AP5 will back up. Nimi will close her wings. 1 straight. I'd be very surprised if we don't see the barrel roll focus. Yep, there it is. Based on where your template is, you have to go all the way back so you don't have to rock. And you really need to speed through your dials if you want there to be another round to win anyways. I think turning that way towards AP5 is a huge mistake. He's only worth 3 points. He doesn't even get you... You should have turned left so you could claim the 2 objectives. You're not gonna one-shot AP5. Your win con was getting through this round and then killing Dash the next round. Then again, if Luke half points himself, he does not, just takes a single shield. Don't know why Luke did that. There was no reason for him to risk that. If Nimi had gone this way, she would have been able to claim this and then turn in hard this way the next turn. Either towards Luke or towards Dash. Luke will shoot at Nimi. No matter what, you try your best not to have to spend that focus here if you're Nimi. We'll spend the force for 2. You don't spend anything. Don't spend anything. No, don't spend it. You get your free. Just take the 2 shields. Two hits, 1 eye. We'll spend a focus. Nimi, just take the 2 shields. I guess you can't now. See, if you had saved your focus, you would have been able to avoid that entire shot. No, don't take half. Don't take half. Don't take half. You have to spend your... Ah, that's terrible. Should have saved your focus off that first shot. You literally can't take half here. You have to spend your objective to not take it. And then you need to shoot Luke. You need a one-shot Luke. This is also why you should have banked in with Jessica, so you could claim the objective and at worst case have had the ability to spend it. That's not going to do anything. You get 1 reroll. Or not. We don't like rerolls here. I think Jessica can use the ability on herself, can she not? For each other friendly ship. Okay, she cannot. If he had rolled really well into Luke, it wouldn't have been. And if he had saved the focus, he would have been able to avoid that entire second shot by Dash. Which then he could have saved the objective and shot into Luke to get half points. But yeah, that's game. Gets 2 points from the objective. I don't understand the move turning towards AP5, but it is what it is. I think the correct decision would have been to go for the objective and then have Nimi try her best to not have to spend any mods. If you needed to on that second shot, obviously you should have spent your focus, but never on the first one that's only doing like 2 shields to you. Because you needed the objective token to not lose 2 points. But yep, that will put Order 66 1-2 in favor of Wolfpack still. And yep, I'll catch you guys later. Adios.